What's up, yo, man? Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Beautiful, beautiful day at the Ave. We just had a nice conversation. Get to know with Nicole Glass, creator of Affirmations for Black Men. Man, that joint was crazy. Like, we unpacked so much. We talked about love, self-love, as just black individuals, black beautiful people navigating different spaces as creatives. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited for you all to hear about this conversation that we just had. Dope, dope person. We shot it in a dope space. Shout out to Linden Ave Studios. Shout out to the homies, Rami, Will. We really appreciate y'all for allowing us to, come in and use the space. It's just another day, man. Another day trying to just get this work in, trying to grow. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for what we got going on, Valleys and Peaks. Cooking up, man.
Ain't getting right to it, they don't want to hear it. But like, unless you really have an in-depth ass story, like, oh yeah, I'm about to get over here and start talking about my day. I saw Joe Biden.
Yo, this joint is crazy in here. Beautiful space.
Talking about that OnlyFans shit.
This is real live, just day in the life. What we have going on today. Tapped in with the guys here at Linden Ave. Feel me?
That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say like sex.
I felt good. I'm on some the Kendrick concert the other day really inspired me to be on my West Coast fit today. You guys can't really see, but y'all will see.
That's like a different push from like content creation. Because everybody wants to push first, and now it's like we gotta come back. Yeah, okay, back. That's dope.
Trying to be unique and authentic and have your own style and flow to your content, because I just be feeling like everybody just be posting the same
Right. That's what I'm saying.
same stuff. It's hard to
Bring it back.
figure out like what you want to do and what makes your content unique.
Hey guys, it's Nicole Glass, the creator behind Affirmations for Black Men. Tap into my episode with Valleys and Peaks. We had an incredible conversation and you're not going to want to miss it.
Welcome. It's a pleasure, Nicole. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here talking with you guys and to see where things go.
Lovely. So, you do a lot of different things. So, could you please just introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about what you do?
Okay, which camera should I look into? This one? Okay. Hey guys, my name is Nicole Glass and I'm a content creator, the content creator behind Affirmations for Black Men. But I'm also in real estate and a realtor, a landlord, and just like, creative person overall. So I'm really excited to interview with you guys and talk.
So, where are you originally from?
I am originally from the Princeton area, Princeton, New Jersey. That's where I went to boarding school, and I also went to college at Rutgers and things like that. So I would say Central Jersey.
What was it like growing up for you?
Oh.
Explain that dynamic to us a little bit.
So for most people who don't know what boarding school is, it's when you stay at school and you sleep there and you stay there 24/7. And then I did summer camps as well, like in the Princeton area. So I was like, couldn't get away from like my teachers or like my classmates. It was a 24/7 thing. And I was the only African-American girl in my entire class so that was an interesting experience. I would say I had to develop my own sense of self and consciousness in a privileged white space. And as we know, those spaces don't necessarily have the most love for us. So I had to develop a lot of armor to protect my own self-image.
How do you feel like, those spaces have kind of shaped you into the woman that you are today? The way that you navigate the world?
Well, I think it made me a critical thinker really early. I don't necessarily go with the crowd and what everybody thinks because I was raised in an environment where everybody didn't think highly of me. So I had to develop my own sense of self and my own sense of perception in order to protect myself. So I think that I really appreciate that experience because it gave me a lot of individuality.
I love that. So you have a platform that, allows Black men to be seen. Talk to us a little bit about that and the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so I have an Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube and Facebook with Affirmations for Black Men. I have over 225,000 followers on all platforms together. It's really overwhelming. Honestly, I didn't think it would get this big. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't think it would reach this many people. So I started out doing affirmations for myself. I was in therapy, and my therapist was like, this is how you can continue to reconstruct your own self-image, is by saying affirmations in the mirror on a daily basis. And again, like, knowing my history, my background in boarding school and in those spaces, like, even though I was able to preserve my sense of self, there was still like continuous work that I had to do to deconstruct that. And so affirmations were helping me, but not at first. So at first, like, I didn't believe the affirmations I was saying about myself. And then every single day as the days go by, like 1 week, 2 week, I was like, okay, Nicole, you're extremely smart, you're loved, you're beautiful. And I was like, yeah, just saying this, like, yeah, okay. And then eventually I started to realize, I started to actually believe it after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, and realized how powerful it was. And I was like, oh, okay, this is working, and I want to help my community. And I started doing it for Black men and Black women at first. And for about 2 weeks, I was like, hey guys, this is my affirmations for Black women, this is my affirmations for Black men, 2 separate videos. And the affirmations for Black men got this insane response where it felt like a lot of these Black men had never heard affirmations coming from women that look like me. And I was like, what? Like, you don't know that we love y'all? We don't know that we appreciate y'all? That, like, this is insane. And it was like literally blowing up 200,000 views per video. So I was like, yikes, like, this needs help, this needs work. And so I decided to just lean into that work because that's what my community was telling me they needed.
Talk to us a little bit more about that. Like, why do you feel like the role of a Black woman affirming Black men is so important?
I think that there's a gender war going on in our community where Black women and Black men are competing against each other for this space for the little teeny tiny space that, America is providing for Black people. And then I also think it's purposeful too, to an extent, where our house is being divided, like a divide and conquer, right? That's how people insert their power over other communities, is they divide and conquer those communities and pull them against themselves and each other. And so when you're living in a community that's been traumatized the way that our community has been traumatized and used, and, we're so powerful when we love ourselves and we love each other, like, there's certain things we won't stand for, right? But when your own people are treating you poorly, and other communities are treating you poorly, that's kind of what you normalize. And so I just felt like, okay, so this is a way that we can connect with each other and connect with ourselves. And then on top of that, like, most women were like, why aren't you doing affirmations for Black women anymore? And I feel like my affirmation to Black women is that we can exist in loving spaces and have loving relationships with Black men. And my own, like, existence of my own being is an affirmation that Black women can exist and be heard and communicate with our community members in love. And that's my affirmation to Black women. And my affirmation to Black men is that, like, versions like this, relationships like this can exist, and we love you guys. And I just want to connect us, because if we're not connected, there's nothing that we're going to be able to accomplish on the outside of that, right? Like, our house is on fire, like the inside of the house, like, it's on fire. And then you have Black women and Black men just throwing more fire to it. And I'm like, yo, somebody grab the hose. Like, grab the hose. Like, this is crazy. And then so it's like, how are we going to fight injustices like the over sentencings of Black women and Black men, police violence and political issues if we hate each other? It doesn't seem like we're going to get anywhere fast. And it didn't seem like anybody was really doing much about it. So that's kind of why I was like, okay, let me try to do something.
Did you ever envision yourself doing this type of work, like, growing up?
I wouldn't say doing this specific type of work, but my mom has a nonprofit called At the Well Conferences. She started off trying to help me and give me experiences that young Black girls and young Black boys didn't have. and it was an experience out of Princeton University. She went to Princeton, and it was a 2-week summer program. She brought young Black girls and boys to Princeton to experience, leadership skills, Black people that looked like them, to pour into them from all over the country. And so I grew up with a mother figure that was like pouring into me in that way and pouring into our community in that way. So I knew that I wanted to pour into the Black community as well. I just didn't know how that was going to happen and in what way I would be used for that. So I never, especially when I was in high school, I feel, and people think like I had all these great experiences with Black men and I'm just like this unicorn and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, like the Black boys in high school used to make fun of me. Like I got picked up and thrown in the dumpster one time. I swear it was bad, but it was like, this like brother and sister playful vibe. And I had dating experiences that were bad too, technically with Black men and Black boys, but that didn't make me have a hate for all young Black boys or all young Black men. We're all trying to heal our trauma individually, and we're all just trying to become better within ourselves. Like I really do feel like this life journey is about self-improvement. And I just feel like the more that I improve and become empathetic and understand and love myself, the more that my experiences outside myself will change, right? And my boundaries and things like that. So I just never blamed all of Black men for like this micro experiences that I was personally having.
All right. I love how you talked about, your mother's influence on your life. Can you kind of talk about how your environment has shaped the way that you view love?
Ooh, that's a good question. How has my environment shaped how I view love? Well, my mom's also a preacher and a pastor. So again, I'm like growing up in a community of people who their whole life's purpose is to serve other people. And so I believe how I view love is by acts of service. And that's how I enjoy to love, is to serve. And I think that a lot of people view love as receiving, especially like women. And this is no shade because I was there too, like, oh, they don't love me unless they do X, Y, and Z, unless they pay for X, Y, and Z. I don't feel the love. And yeah. and then you see a lot of that rhetoric online. And, women don't necessarily feel loved or feel valued unless like it comes in a form of like servitude, right? And in my opinion, love is like a mutual form of servitude, right? So when people are asking these questions, like, what do you bring to the table? It's like, okay, I bring to the table, a sense of continued self-improvement. I'm always going to grow and be empathetic to whoever I'm experiencing. I'm always going to provide a safe and healing space where I just want to understand you. I'm not looking to be right in the conversation. I'm not looking to like drain you. I actually value you. I value Black men as a whole. I don't have any resentment towards you or who you are as a human being. And so I can actually see you, right? And so we're going to have a different experience to where I actually want to only help you grow. And then if you can match my energy, there's literally nothing we can't do. Like, I'm just trying to treat life like a playground. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm not trying to like use my relationship as a vehicle to like let go of like all these things I'm going on in my inner world. Like, I just want to add to the cup. I don't want to drain it. And then I want someone to add to my cup. And then we're flourishing like on top of the world type, like, so that's my vibe.
So what have you learned about yourself from affirming others?
Okay. I learned that I could not possibly love the man or the men in my community or in my life if I didn't love myself. And the more that I loved myself on a deeper level, and the more that I understood myself, the more that I understood the men in my community. Because I truly do believe Black men and Black women are mirrors of each other, and we're so alike. And then the more that I connected with the men in my community. And then so it was just so interesting to experience, the more that I heal, the more that I heal the relationships around me. And so like, I just learned to lean into that, and I feel like a weight like lifted off of my body, off of my life. And I was dating somebody a couple months ago, and they were like, they made a mistake or something. They're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you're gonna hate me for this, da da da. And I was like, actually, like, when we're dating, like, I don't look at it from a perspective of, like, I don't center, like, everything that you're doing wrong. Like I only center and reflect myself and how that makes me feel, and I'm only trying to learn how to communicate that and then set boundaries for what I'm willing to interact with and what I'm not. And so I take full responsibility for my experience in this, and I'm not looking at you from a lens of like demonization. I don't need to demonize you to like, you know, and be in this thing. So that experience was really interesting. Even though we're not dating anymore, it's still love, right? I feel like even in the dating world, like men and women, when men and women don't work out in our community, I think a lot of people will use demonization as a form of healing and as a form of feeling better. Like it makes me feel better to demonize this person and make them seem like they're just some narcissist and they're just da 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 da. And it's like, no, but can you leave that thing that you tried to create with this person with love? Like, can you walk out and still not get what you necessarily want, right? It's all like this like weird power game. Okay, you didn't get what you want, but can you walk away and still have love for that person and still wish them well? Or are you gonna just, you know, go the opposite way and leave with hate and resentment because, you know, as a woman, our form of feeling powerful, sometimes we can source that from intimate relationships. And when an intimate relationship doesn't work out or we can't control that outcome, sometimes we leave with a lot of hate. And so like, it's just like, it gets deep. Like I'm really out here learning and it's great. It's crazy.
That's good. So what does self-love look like for Nicole? And you know, what are some ways that you pour back into yourself? Because like, I feel like it's important to sometimes take a step back from the work and you know, because as you would be always affirming others, you know, what are some things that you do to practice self-care as well?
I love that question. No one's ever asked me that before. Thank you so much. So what self-love looks like for me is I have morning routines and I have nighttime routines. And so my morning routine consists of, you know, maybe I'm not waking up with like a loud alarm that is like jolting me up. Like, and I know this sounds like so like small, but I swear, like now I'm like waking up to bird sounds. And then like I have like a little sunlight lamp. And so just the act of when I wake up is now, and then putting intention into that act is a form of showing my self-love, right? And even with my hair and my skincare routine, you know, I used to put a lot of heat on my hair and now I want to take care of like my natural curls and I want to take care of my skin. I want to take care of what I put in my body. And in my morning routine, maybe I'll listen to a certain like public speaker that's talking about, you know, how you can make the most out of life to make sure I start my day on the right foot. And then in the evening when I go to bed, like I'll have candles, you know, some jazz. I have a record player that I'm like really into right now because the sound feels different. And I think a form of self-love is just like paying attention to myself and paying attention to my energy. Because sometimes like when you don't feel good within yourself, you don't even realize how much you're pushing that and projecting that on other people, especially the people closest to you. And you're not only like having this experience within yourself, when someone else loves you and you can't control or have an intentionality about your own energetic force field, that other person who loves you that's in your house or in your life is experiencing that same energy with you. And so I'm being like loving myself is really being more conscious of the energy that I feel and then like continuing to invest in raising my own vibration.
I love that. So a lot of your work is, you know, surrounded around positivity, but I know there are up and downs in any journey. So can you talk to us about, you know, some of the challenges from building up your platform and just being a creative, or just even challenges as a woman in this space?
Oh, there's so many. I think the biggest challenge I'm having right now would be like kind of just blocking out people's perception and not caring about what other people think and trusting your intention or my intention when it comes to this work. Like I was just telling, I have like a subscriber hub now where I have subscribers on my page, and I was just telling my subscribers, I was like, y'all, like about a year in, I had someone really close to me pretty much ask me if I was like doing OnlyFans. And I was like, oh, yo, like no way, like, you know, and then it was, and you know, people be saying snarky remarks too with their eye, and you're like, why, you know, you're kind of like, you're tainting, you know, this special space that I'm trying to provide. And then on top of that, I'm not at my most confident with it, you know, like I'm just starting out, like I'm getting love, but I'm also getting hate, you know, and I'm also getting like questions. And I feel like, you know, when people close to you kind of, instead of uplifting you, try to poke holes in what you're doing, it can be really deterring. And so that's kind of what I struggle with now, is just like releasing how other people are perceiving me and trusting, you know, my own self and my own character, and knowing that I'm coming from a place of love and just standing on that and not even thinking about it. But when it comes close to home, it hurts the most. Yep.
You ready? I think that leads me into like a question. So like earlier when we were talking, you touched on people kind of like poking holes in your journey and like your path, and not a lot of people really believing in the vision. You know, so what advice would you give to just creatives or just young professionals that are dealing with a lot of self-doubt with their work and just along their journey?
Man, not everybody is treading along the path of pursuing their dreams. You're in the process of creating your dream life. And there's a lot of people who gave up on that, or who told themselves that, you know, it's not for them or it's impossible. So when people start to see you try, they want to bring you down because they want to prove to themselves that it's not possible, and they want you to stay in that mindset or in that frequency with them, because that's the closeness that they feel towards you. So once you start gravitating towards, you know what, no, it is possible, and I am going to try, and I'm not going to give up, you're going to start to see some success. You're going to start to see some traction. You're going to start to become more obsessed and passionate about what you do. And then it's literally like you're quantum leaping into that life that you want by doing the things that you need to do to get there. And then on top of that, those same people who said that you couldn't do it, or who tried to put you down, that envy, that jealousy, it expands and it gets louder, and then people distance themselves from you. But stay the course, because the advice I would give to the creative who's in that spot right now is that your people are waiting for you. You know, the people who believe in you and who are doing it too, and who are doing their best, you know, those are your people. You are meant to be surrounded around a particular energy that not everybody gets to experience. To be a creative person is to be close to God, because we're living in God's creation, the most beautiful creation, nature all around us. It's insane. You know, God is the creator. And so that energy, that loving energy, those people who are on that vibe, on that frequency, you know, and you think, you know how it feels to create. So can you imagine the space when you're surrounded around a group of creators who are in that same energy? There is not going to be a path that you wish you would have gone on. Like, you will never regret prioritizing that. Even though it may feel lonely, it's okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just continue to believe in yourself, and enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. I think what happens with creating is it's a never-ending process. You're becoming more and more talented as you practice. It's like going to the gym. Just keep going to the gym.
What role has faith played for you in all of this?
A huge one. A huge one. A huge one, man. Because if there was nobody around me who was doing what I was doing, right? And then it's also on the fact of like, I've had to connect with my inner child and allow my imagination to go wild and protect that version of myself and believe in myself and steward my manifestations, my dreams, the life I wanted to have. Like, even me sitting here with y'all saying like, yo, I wanted to have the life of my dreams from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And this is, you know, my journey to that, being able to connect and impact my community the way that I'm doing. I'm living the life of my dreams, you know, and it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with, I get to wake up and exude love within myself. And then it's also a checkpoint of like, if I'm not feeling the love within myself, I can't project it. So I'm healing myself by pouring into myself and pouring into my community. And then on top of that, I'm connecting with other people who are in alignment with that. So like, even though I might be making 40, 50K a year, bro, my life is abundant. Like, I'm happy, you know? And having that faith and becoming that version of myself that nobody else could see, I had to have a really, 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 really close relationship with God, because God's love is so much more abundant, and I connect with God via nature and hiking and rivers and prayer and just having gratitude. I think the gratitude aspect was the most important, because the fact that we're here, we're living, we're breathing, we're healthy, you know, like we're surrounded around like the internet, the possibilities are endless. We have AI. We are in this moment creating with each other for a reason. And so every single day I wake up and I thank God for all the tools that I have to become what I want. Like, that's power. That's all I need. You know, there's someone that would kill for this position and that I had 3 years ago. So let me not, you know, be ungrateful. Let me wake up, pray, thank God every day, and then move forward.
Love that. So you started to host dinners, I believe, right? For creators. You know, talk to us a little bit about that and just the importance of building community in that way.
Yeah. Oh, look, you guys did your research. Thank you. Yeah, I do the social media club last year, 2023. When was my last? Yeah, it was we're in 2024. So 2023, I did 5 social media club meetings, and I met with people who were in my community that I had access to, that I was friends with, that I knew, that I had conversations with. I met with people who poured into me. So we were talking earlier about some of my social clubs that I was in, and I was like, oh my God, like I was learning so much like along my own creative journey. And so I wanted to take those relationships I had with people and then put them online and have conversations and ask certain questions for the creatives who needed to also be poured into, right? So I wanted to share my relationships. I wanted to share my resources of people who I knew were extremely powerful, not just because of who they are, but because of the way that they already poured into me and the things that they had to say. So one, for example, I interviewed Christian Crosby. That interview's not up yet. And the first time I met him, me and him were talking. I was like, I did not like him. Like, I thought he was stuck up. And so, but as months go on, like my respect for him grew. And then we started having, more conversations the more that we saw each other. And I was like, oh, like you have really strong boundaries, And so when I first met him, we were at a social club, and one of his friends asked to take a picture, and there was alcohol around. And he was like, I don't want to take a picture. He's like, stop. And so I thought he was stuck up from that one experience. I was like, look at this guy. Like, who does he think he is? And then later on, he communicated to me after, we brought it up in a conversation, because like, I'm not a fake person, right? I'm not gonna just talk about you behind your back. Like, I'm gonna say it to your face. Like, you was kind of stuck up when you did that one thing. And he was like, Nicole, I don't want my brand to be associated with alcohol, and I am really protective over my brand, and I can see how you would not be able to see that because of where you're at in your journey. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And I was like, damn. I was like, you know what? That's hard. And then that's something that I took along with me on my journey. And so there was just little moments I was having with people like that I connected with that I wanted to share.
Love that. What's keeping Nicole going nowadays? Like, what's been keeping you inspired lately?
What's been keeping me inspired? Wow, that is a great question. Honestly, I'm constantly learning from other creators on YouTube. And what keeps me inspired is continuing to understand that I am a forever student. And if I don't study, if I don't understand that if I know anything is I know nothing, and I will never progress. So what keeps me inspired is watching, YouTube videos of other content creators and consistently just being okay with, having no ego and just like absorbing as much as I can and information. And so I watched this one creator like literally last night, and she's so amazing. And I'm working with these brands, and sometimes working with brands, you don't really feel like you're getting your worth as a creative, and you're negotiating your worth, and it feels really awkward and weird. But she was expressing, she was like, yo, like, look, after I work with every brand, I do an impact report of the impact that I had, and I make sure to over deliver. And it's something Christian Crosby said as well. He was like, yeah, I mean, someone gives me one thing, he's like, I'm gonna go 10 times as hard for them. I'm going to over deliver. And so you're hearing these same messages from these creators who have reached the pinnacle of where you want to be, expressing that every business relationship that they have with people, you know, they not only are they making sure that they're working with brands that are in alignment with them and they like their products and they use their products and it's a part of their actual life, so their community trusts them, they're also making sure to over deliver with the business relationships that they have. And I was like, let me write that down. So just constantly learning.
Love that. So I have two final closeout things for you. Who are some influential Black men in your life?
Mm-hmm.
And June is Men's Mental Health Month.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give the men an affirmation that are struggling with their mental health?
Okay, we're gonna go to the first one. And that was, who are some Black male content creators in my life? Shout out from Nate with Love. Nate, you have been such an inspiration to me. This is a influencer on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and he does regular check-ins, you know, with me like every couple months, and we grew in our content journey together. And what I want to say to creators who are in the manifestation mode and still don't have that community is, you can connect with other creators who have a similar influence than you and similar vibes. So when I was at 10,000 followers across all platforms, so was he. And now we're both at, you know, 200,000 across all platforms. And so we went live together, you know, and having other male creators in your circle and female creators in your circle that you can grow with is super important to the confidence that you have with what you're doing, because nobody like in my immediate circle really was doing what I was trying to do. So I had to search online and connect with people online and go live with people online to really like, you know, not only learn, grow, understand, connect, and build those relationships. So from Nate with Love, that is one of my favorite content creator friendships. And he even invited me to a Lewis Howes podcast live event that he got free tickets for, and like stuff like that. So yeah, that was like one of my favorite friendships. And then, okay, so the second question was, what affirmation would I give Black men who are
struggling with their mental health?
That are struggling with their mental health?
Just dealing with a rough season in life at the moment.
Okay. Okay, I got one. So to the Black man who's struggling with his mental health in this season, something that I would want to express to you is that, Black man, you are a star. You are a shining light, and everybody wants to grab onto that and hold on to that and have a piece of you. And so with that light that you exude on a daily basis within your own life, there is a lot that you have to deal with when it comes to people trying to manipulate that or attack that, but you shine so bright and so beautifully, and you gotta protect your energy, protect your space, protect your time. And even though sometimes it could mean that you are alone or feel like a lone wolf in this journey, the more that you understand how valuable you actually are, and that's your value is the reason why so many people try to trick you out of it or try to play you. The moment that you understand that it is because you are a diamond, it is because you are so valuable that so many people want to take from you, you will start to protect that energy and not take it personally. Black man, you shine. You are so much more powerful than you think. And I love you. And I only can pray that you can see that too. Okay. Hey guys, it's Nicole Glass, the creator behind Affirmations for Black Men. Tap into my episode with Valleys and Peaks. We had an incredible conversation and you're not gonna wanna miss it. Thank you, yay, we did it! We did it, Joe.